I remember the beeping first, that sharp, relentless rhythm dragging me out of a darkness I wasn't sure I'd ever escape. When my eyes finally cracked open, the world came back in pieces. Sterile white walls, ceiling lights buzzing like angry insects, and the cold sting of tubes running into my arms. My throat felt shredded, as if I'd swallowed broken glass. I tried to speak, to ask where I was, what had happened to me. But all that came out was a dry, helpless rasp swallowed by the hum of machines. And in that moment, before I even knew who had done this to me, before I remembered the hands around my neck, I understood one terrifying truth. Someone had tried to erase me, and I had woken up just in time to tell the world who it was. And there they were, their faces hovering above me like ghosts. Julian, my stepbrother, with his sharp jaw and eyes that always seemed too cold. And Frank, my stepfather, standing a step back, his expression unreadable, hands clasped in front of him like he was at a business meeting. The very people who had tried to ruin me. My chest tightened, not just from the pain, but from the flood of memories crashing in. I didn't just survive that night. I survived the truth that followed. I pause here, staring into the camera, my voice trembling slightly. A tear slips down my cheek, but I don't wipe it away. The room is quiet except for my shallow breaths. I need you to feel this, the vulnerability, the raw edge of it all. Let me take you back. To understand how I ended up in that hospital bed, you need to know where I came from. I grew up in a small town in upstate New York, the kind where everyone knows your business but pretends they don't. My name is Elena Reyes. My mother, Maria, was a force of nature, or at least that's how I remember her in the good moments. She was a single mom after my biological father left when I was 3. He was a ghost story she told me at bedtime, a cautionary tale about men who promise the world and deliver nothing. Mom worked 2 jobs, waitressing by day, cleaning offices at night. We lived in a cramped apartment above a laundromat, the air always thick with the scent of detergent and desperation. Our relationship was complicated, woven with love and resentment. She loved me fiercely, but there were days when her exhaustion turned sharp, her words like knives. "You're just like him," she'd say when I pushed back, dreaming of something more than our tiny world. I learned early to swallow my dreams, to make myself small. Then Frank entered our lives when I was 12. He was a widower, a successful lawyer from the city, with a polished smile and a wallet that seemed bottomless. Mom met him at a charity event she was catering. Ironic, isn't it? The help falling for the benefactor. He swept her off her feet with dinners and promises of stability. They married within a year, and suddenly we were uprooted to a sprawling house in the suburbs with manicured lawns and rooms I got lost in. Frank? God, where do I start? He was everything my father wasn't: reliable, ambitious, commanding. But there was always this undercurrent, a shadow in his eyes that made me uneasy. I felt a mix of fear and respect for him, like a wild animal you admire from afar but know could turn on you. He provided for us, paid for my education, encouraged my studies. Over time, that fear softened into attachment. He became the father I never had, the one who taught me to drive, who beamed at my graduations. I trusted him, loved him even. He was my only family, or so I thought. And then there was Julian, Frank's son from his first marriage. He was 2 years older than me, arrogant and competitive from the start. He saw me as an intruder, a girl who didn't belong in his perfect world. We'd clash over everything: the TV remote, grades, attention from Frank. Julian was the golden boy, excelling in sports and academics, but there was a fragility to him, a need for approval that Frank exploited subtly. Julian would sneer at me during family dinners, calling me the charity case. I fired back, but deep down it hurt. We were siblings by circumstance, not choice, bound by a fragile thread. As I grew older, I carved out my own path. I studied journalism in college, specializing in investigative reporting. After graduation, I landed a job at a prestigious news outlet in their specialized division focused on corporate corruption and white-collar crime. It was my calling, exposing the powerful who hid behind suits and smiles. My work started making waves. I uncovered scandals in big firms, stories that led to arrests and reforms. But here's where it gets personal. One of my investigations began circling closer to home. Frank's law firm represented some shady clients. Pharmaceutical companies dodging regulations, executives embezzling funds. I didn't connect the dots at first, but as I dug deeper, I realized Frank might be tangled in it. Not directly implicated, but close enough that my reporting could tarnish his reputation, maybe even drag him down. I became a threat to him, his perfect facade cracking under the weight of my truth-seeking. My voice cracks a little now, and I look away from the camera for a moment, gathering myself. The pain is still fresh, like a wound that never fully heals. I take a sip of water, my hand shaking slightly, before continuing. The tension built slowly, like a storm gathering on the horizon. It started with small things, strange behaviors from Frank and Julian that I dismissed as paranoia. Frank, who had always been supportive of my career, suddenly began questioning my choices. "Elena, are you sure you want to pursue this story? It could be dangerous," he'd say over dinner, his eyes lingering on me a beat too long. It felt like control, wrapped in concern. Julian's arrogance escalated into outright hostility. He'd mock my articles, calling them witch hunts. But it was the gaslighting that wore me down, the subtle manipulations that made me doubt my own sanity. Frank would rearrange things in the house, then act surprised when I noticed. "Honey, you've been working too hard. Maybe you misplaced it." Julian would echo him, smirking behind his father's back. Dinners became silent battlegrounds. We'd sit around the oak table, the clink of silverware echoing like accusations. Mom would try to fill the void with chatter about her garden or the neighbors, but her voice would trail off under Frank's stern gaze. I remember one night, staring at my plate of untouched lasagna, feeling the weight of unspoken words. Frank cleared his throat and said, "Elena, I've been thinking. Maybe it's time you took a break from that division. Family comes first." His tone was calm, but there was steel beneath it. Julian chuckled softly, and I felt a chill run down my spine. A clue that only made sense later, like a puzzle piece I couldn't yet place. Little things piled up. My laptop glitching after Julian borrowed it, emails vanishing from my inbox, anonymous tips warning me of stories. I thought it was stress, or maybe rivals at work, but deep down a whisper of doubt crept in. Why was Frank so insistent on me visiting home more often? Why did Julian's eyes dart to his father whenever I mentioned my latest investigation? It all culminated on that night, the night of the attack. I can still feel it, the crisp autumn air as I walked to my car after a late shift at the office. My mind was racing with leads on Frank's clients. I'd just uncovered a document linking his firm to a bribery scheme. Excitement buzzed in my veins, mixed with unease. I should have listened to that gut feeling. The parking garage was dimly lit, shadows pooling in the corners like ink. My heels echoed on the concrete, each step amplifying my isolation. Then, a rustle behind me. I turned, heart pounding, and there he was, Julian, masked but unmistakable in his build, his eyes gleaming with something feral. "You should have stopped," He growled, his voice muffled but laced with rage. Fear exploded in my chest, hot and primal. I backed away, my keys slipping from my fingers. "Julian, what are you?" But he lunged, his hands wrapping around my throat like vices. The world tilted. Physical sensations assaulted me, the rough fabric of his gloves against my skin, the burn in my lungs as air fled, the metallic taste of blood from biting my tongue. I clawed at his arms, nails digging in, but he was stronger, fueled by whatever demon drove him. Suspense built in those endless seconds, my vision blurring, spots dancing like fireflies. I kicked, thrashed, but he pinned me against the cold wall. Chilling details flood back, the distant hum of traffic outside, mocking my isolation. The way his breath came in hot bursts through the mask, the faint scent of Frank's cologne on him. A detail I overlooked then. My emotions swirled, betrayal, confusion, terror. Why Julian? What had I done to him? My final thought before blacking out was of Frank. "Dad, help me." Irony twists like a knife now. My body went limp, and for a few seconds my heart stopped. Flatline, the doctors later said. Darkness swallowed me whole, and I believed Julian had acted alone. Some twisted sibling rivalry pushed too far. I stop here, my breath hitching. Tears well up and I let them fall, my voice trembling as I lean closer to the camera. The heartbreak is palpable. You can hear it in the silence that follows, heavy and unbroken. Waking up was a nightmare reborn. The mental trauma clawed at me, flashbacks of hands on my throat, nightmares where I relived the attack in slow motion. My body ached, bruises blooming like dark flowers on my skin. The police came, their questions probing like fingers in wounds. "Who did this, Miss Reyes? Any enemies?" I whispered Julian's name, my voice hoarse, pointing him out as the culprit. He visited the hospital, fake tears streaming down his face. "Elena, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me." But his eyes were dry beneath the performance, darting nervously. Frank was there too, supportive in his tailored suit, patting my hand with a calmness that chilled me. "We'll get through this, kiddo. Family sticks together." Too calm. No outrage, no fury at his son. That was the first tiny gut feeling, something off, like a note out of tune in a symphony. The investigation dragged on, a fog of painkillers and therapy sessions. I replayed the attack in my mind, searching for answers. Why Julian? He was competitive, yes, but violent? It didn't fit. Doubts gnawed at me, whispers in the quiet hours. Then the real truth revealed itself, shattering everything. Investigators checked Julian's phone, routine procedure. A shocking detail emerged. Right after the attack, as I lay unconscious, Julian made a call. "It's done," he said, voice steady. The number? It belonged to Frank. My world crumbled. They dug deeper. CCTV footage from a coffee shop days before, showing Frank and Julian huddled together, Frank's hand on his son's shoulder, whispering intently. Audio forensics pieced it together. Frank manipulating Julian for months, preying on his insecurities. "She's trying to destroy us, son. Your future, my legacy. We have to stop her." Emotional blackmail, promises of inheritance, threats of disowning him if he didn't comply. Julian, fragile and desperate for approval, became Frank's weapon. To destroy me, my career, my truth. Heartbreak doesn't cover it. It was a tsunami, drowning me in grief. Discovering this, God, it felt like my soul fracturing. Frank, the man I trusted, loved, believed was my only family. He'd orchestrated it all because my investigations threatened his empire. He used Julian like a puppet, pulling strings from the shadows. My voice cracks now, raw and breaking. I whisper the next words, trembling but resolute. He didn't just betray me, he used my own brother to do it. The courtroom was a theater of betrayal, spotlights harsh on the polished wood. Frank sat there pretending innocence, his lawyer spinning tales of a troubled son acting alone. Julian was in tears, confused and controlled, mumbling apologies that rang hollow. He looked small, broken. Frank's manipulation had twisted him into something unrecognizable. The prosecutor unveiled the evidence like a magician's reveal. Call logs projected on the screen, that damning, "It's done," echoing in the room. Gasps rippled through the gallery, a collective intake of breath. Frank's facade cracked for a split second, eyes widening, jaw tightening, before he composed himself. I testified, my legs shaking as I approached the stand. Emotions boiled over, anger, sorrow, a deep-seated ache. As I spoke of the attack, of the revelations, I broke down, sobs racking my body, words choking out between tears. But then a moment of strength surged through me. I looked Frank in the eyes and said, I loved him like a father. He loved me like a threat. The courtroom fell silent, the weight of those words hanging like smoke. The final outcome brought a hollow victory. Frank was sentenced. 20 years for conspiracy to commit assault, his empire crumbling around him. Julian was sent for psychiatric evaluation. Deemed a victim of coercion, his mind fractured by his father's control. And my mother, she left me. Couldn't face the truth, or maybe couldn't forgive me for exposing it. She packed her bags and vanished, leaving a note. I can't live with this. I stood alone outside the courthouse, rain pattering on the steps like hesitant applause. For the first time in months, I breathed, deep, unburdened inhales. The world felt vast, empty, but mine. I lean back now, my voice softening, laced with quiet strength. The camera captures the resolve in my eyes, the faint smile of healing. Looking back, it's all so raw, so emotional. The suspense of those months, the heartbreak of betrayal, it reshaped me. But in the quiet aftermath, I found a sliver of hope. Therapy helps, writing my story even more. I'm rebuilding, one breath at a time. Family didn't fail me that night. I just finally saw who my family truly was. And in that truth, I found my strength. Healing isn't linear, but it's mine. There's hope in the horizon, faint but real. If you're watching this, know that survival isn't just about the body. It's about the soul enduring the storm.